All right. Welcome into the week 0 show. Everybody, what's going on? Glad for everybody to be here, of course. If you are watching tomorrow or Friday, or even if you're watching today is Thursday. We are recording this show, the breakfast pool, college football pool show, whatever you call it. Of course, everybody's has got their is on the board, has got their particulars in, and we have football upon us. Yes, it is week 0. Welcome in, everybody. We're not gonna really sugarcoat anything. Let's go through the top 25. The teams that actually have a chance: Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, number 5, Indiana, Miami, Florida, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma at number 10. LSU, Texas Tech, Alabama, BYU, USC, Michigan, Washington, Penn State, SMU, Tennessee, number 20. Utah, Iowa, Houston, Louisville, and Missouri to round out the bottom of the top 25. Yes, the teams that probably actually have a chance. We got football on TV this weekend. Games on the slate that are going to be on your ticket, quote unquote. North Carolina versus TCU. They're playing that game in Ireland. San Jose State at USC. Yeah. NC State at Virginia. That's going to be one of the more interesting games as far as I'm concerned. New Mexico State, Florida State. I'm sure to be a sleeper. Memphis at UNLV. Jackson Arnold at UNLV. But don't sleep on them Memphis Tigers. Hawaii. Let's see. I can't remember. I don't know. Was it Hawaii at Stanford or was it Stanford at Hawaii? Who cares? I mean, Hawaii. Have they been relevant in the last 20 years? I know maybe they had that year with Colt Brennan and got drummed by Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. But anyway, and then Jacksonville State and North Dakota State. I've been up to North Dakota, where in Fargo, where that team is at, or around that area. I think they're in Fargo. They are very proud of their team because that's the only thing they got up there to be proud of. And, of course, rounding out the last game, Southern versus Alabama State. All games are on major networks. That includes CWTV, NBC, ESPN, Big Fox, ACC Network. Yeah, you might have to catch that on cable. CBS and ESPNU. So we are going to get some lightning rounds in with a few guys that are in the pool. All right. On the phone with me right now is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Uncle Joe. What's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Oh, man, great. Good to be back on the show. Everything's good.
Yeah.
It's hot down. Yeah, hot down here where I'm at.
Okay, now we know you're dealing with a little family situation, so we ain't going to keep you too long. But I did want to get your take. Well, not your take, but we just want to clarify if there's anybody out there that is unsure on the rules and how this works.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. We simplified it. We've been working on it since June. So we're here for the weekend coming up. And, you can just do the spread. If you want the game of the week, we'll start into the GW, whatever that initial is. And you want the game of the week, and then we'll, put you on the spread. And I'll signify it on the tally sheet. And you have a chance to win 2 games. You have a chance to lose 1 game. You have a chance to lose 2 games. So basically, I mean, some of the ladies have already chimed in on the tally sheet, and they got it down. So, like I said, it's pretty simple. But if you got any problems, you can hit me up till 10 o'clock every night, whatever.
Right. Okay, so we're going by week 0, of course. Everybody's got a clean slate for now. They had some games on there, that aren't probably going to be a weekly thing. I know there was like a Jacksonville State, Alabama State Southern, some nobody games, but pretty much by next week, every game is going to be a very critical game. But we will be throwing curveballs at you pretty much the whole season. Um, Go ahead, Joe. We tell everybody about get your picks in on time, right?
Yeah, man, get your picks in at least. I mean, I put it out Sunday night, Monday night, whatever, and I got 2 picks. 2 guys put their picks in that night. Started trickling in Tuesday. Got at least 3 or 4 more Wednesday. Got some today. And all you got to do is just text me the number of the team that you want, and if you want the game of the week spread. That's all you got to signify, and then I'll mark it down, and the tally sheet will come out, Friday night late or Saturday morning, game day before 11 o'clock, and you'll get to see how the other 20 guys picked. We got the guest picker of the week on the tally sheet this time already, and it's Ethan, number 8, freshman at Texas A&M up there in College Station.
Okay.
So he understands the drill, and like I said, but yeah, just get your picks in. I'm going to remind you, I don't want you to default. In the default, I'm still giving you the benefit of the doubt, 5 and 5. But if you default the next weekend, I figure you're a little too busy, or like some of the guys are in fantasy football. So I'm sure it's a lot to keep up with and deal with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, if I fantasize, it ain't got nothing to do with sports. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, and like I say, we live, breathe the season. My grandson just texted me a little while ago and said, "Hey, the football season is here."
That's it. That's it. We are here.
You got doggone right it is.
Right. So, we got games tomorrow night, so we're basically right at about 24 hours. Okay, a little more than 24 hours away from football, college football on TV. Now, I know I don't think we did the Friday night game. I think all the games that we did this week are on Saturday.
Yeah, August 29th. Yeah,
okay,
starting at 11.
Okay. So, all right.
Stumbling, fumbling, trumbling, doubling, and doubling. So we'll see how that happens with TCU is 6.5 favorite. So we'll see how that works out for them. I picked TCU number 2, so on the tally. So like I said, we'll see how they do.
That game is kind of weird because they play on that really slick field and it rains. But the last few times that game has been oddly close, even when the teams are kind of lopsided. But I like to think TCU is just going to go out there and maul them. I mean, it might be close for the first few quarters, but I think third, fourth quarter, TCU is going to go and put the hammer down on them. I believe in Sonny Dykes. I will say that.
Well, yeah, they don't have Josh Hoover, but still, Belichick's on his way out. I think. He's just going through the motions this year, even if he makes the whole season. I mean, they don't make the whole season anymore, these head coaches. So, like I said, I don't think, I think he went in there with, this is how we did it, this is how we're going to do it, and pissed a lot of people off, just like those people up here in Austin. They just can't keep everybody in tow. They're so rich and the most paid players in the land, and they're just dropping like flies. But I think they got their reasons why they are.
Yeah, well, I promised today I wasn't going to mention Texas on the show, so,
Okay, good.
Hey,
good.
Well, you did. I didn't, so. But anyway, I wanted to, before I let you go, before we get to some more calls, I did want to get your take on the current Lane Kiffin situation. Now, it seems like they are going to try to fight this thing. But, I mean, the season starts next Saturday, man. Give it a rest, Lane. Give it a rest. It's over.
Well, yeah, I mean, the NCAA is a mess, and then they started it, and then now you can't do it. And the SEC followed the Big Ten, and what they did with it. And, oh, man, it's all litigation. It's all lawyers, and it's all NIL. Let's figure it out. And Lane is just pushing the envelope just to see what he can get away with and what he can't get away with. Some of them, I would say 20% of the people are pulling for him, and 80% of the people are hating everything that he says, does, this and that. And if he goes 10-2. That's still not going to be satisfactory. 9-3, 8-4. I dread. But I mean, yeah, he's just pushing the envelope, see what he can get away with, and I don't blame him.
Well,
because they need help up there. The NCAA is just, gosh, they're worse than DC.
Well,
the guys in DC.
It seems that they don't have much teeth, but the SEC and the Big Ten got together. Those are your two major conferences that bring in all the money to college football in the United States. So, hey, man, it is what it is. I think really and truthfully, dude, it's over. Let's just move on. Please don't start dragging this out all of a sudden. But that's what I'm saying. These guys aren't even practicing. Okay, as far as I know, these guys aren't even practicing with the team. Maybe you know something I don't know. I don't care. The point is, let's just get over this and done with the season. Goodness gracious.
Well, the thing of it is, what hurt me is I've covered it, and what if I had a child, a senior athlete, and he was going to sign a 5-star, and then he's up there vying for position. He left. He's already been there in the spring, left high school, and then you get these guys that don't make the pros in the draft and whatever the case may be there, and then you're going to bump my 5-star, okay, or you're going to bump my senior because you were on the Saints training camp. Well, if you're signing anybody from the Saints or the other lowly teams, I can't even think of the name of it. I don't know much NFL. If you're signing anybody from them lowly teams like that, then you're in trouble for a lot of stuff. But you're going to bump a senior who worked 2-3 years to start, and you're going to bump a 5-star athlete coming in because you have pro experience and you played last year and you caught 70 passes or made 60 tackles for the money. Then what is it? Why don't you get that construction worker who's carrying a beam of concrete on his shoulder? I think that guy can play some football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And pull him off there. And, I just, it's a mess. It's a mess. But the rich are going to get richer, and they always have from the 50s and the 60s all the way down. The rich have always gotten richer, and pretty soon it's just going to be 50 teams, and your William and Marys and your Louisiana Techs and your Florida Internationals are going to be playing against each other in another league.
All right. Well, yeah, it's definitely win at all costs. But I mean, what is the old saying? Bite your nose to save your face type deal. Well, it honestly seems at this point, and I know nobody that most of the people that listen to this or that are going to see this aren't going to like what I say. Nobody besides LSU fans like LSU anymore.
Yeah, I mean they're just they are hated across the country, and everybody wants them to get beat. And the game in Oxford's going to be the game of the century. I mean, come on, man. It's just you can't tell me that 68,000 people are louder than 102,000 people, and it's going to be the game. It's going to be so loud. They're going to set decibel levels and all that stuff. All they're going to do is throw shit on the field, crash the field when Ole Miss loses or LSU, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or Ole Miss wins.
Yeah. Let's see what they got first. But if I had to pick a team going into that game, I think LSU would probably win just on talent alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then, like say, I'll resort back to the next weekend. But I like this weekend. That Jacksonville, that UNLV Memphis game, those guys are 10-2, 9-3. Those guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think Dan Mullen's at UNLV.
Yeah, so he is. He is. Well, you know who also
Jacksonville State's no slouch. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, look, you know who also went to UNLV? Our old Jackson Arnold, former Oklahoma/Auburn quarterback. He is at UNLV, and I think that's probably going to be one of the better games, if not the best game of the weekend, right there.
Yeah. Well, how about Max Johnson? He's on his 7th team. Do you think he's got a degree yet? My take is that has he got a degree? Or, he just goes semester to semester to each other college. Mac Johnson, he was started at LSU, And that's amazing how he is. And he never made it to the pros yet. Maybe when he goes to the pros, he can come back as a 5th-year guy. I don't know. That's amazing how that is.
All right.
It kills me.
All right. Well, Joe, you got anything else to add before I let you go?
No, man, just get your picks in, fellas, and I'll prod you along. I want to see this thing prosper, and I want to see us have some fun. Good luck to all.
All right, man. And well, you heard it here first. That was Joe, the man himself. All right. So we're moving right along to our next caller. All right, all right. Coming up on the show next, it's like a lightning round. He is one of the guys that's been in the pool pretty much the whole time, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome to the show, Gary S. What's going on?
Oh, not much, little Joe. How you been?
Oh man, I've been great. So what's been going on, dude? How you been?
Oh, been retired a little over 2 years now, and had a trip to Ireland earlier this year, and that was great.
Okay.
And just living life, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. So, last year you were pretty much like nipping at our heels. I remember that, you came on strong. You came on strong in the last part of the year. But I know I will say this, man, I'm so glad we're at week 0. Are you ready for some football?
Yes, I am, Joe. I'm very ready for some football. And it's a bittersweet season for me because of all the bull that's going on throughout the nation in college football. But I'm ready for it.
All right. Well, I hate to be the bearer of, not bad news, because I know you are a purple and gold blood true Tiger fan. But it looks like a lot of the BS in the offseason was pretty much coming from one person, and it just happens to be your head coach. Just give me your honest assessment on what's really going on over there.
I wouldn't leave him in a room with my wife or my daughter. I don't trust him. He's got a lot to prove to me because of his track record. What he done to Tennessee, and how he, some people call him the hoe because he goes where the money is. Yeah. Man, look, it's all about the money these days. I understand, but you got to draw a line sometimes and be loyal. I thought he had a good thing going at Ole Miss, but I don't know his circumstances or what went down. But like I said, he's got a lot to prove to me before I'll be on the lane train.
Well, he has no loyalties to anywhere or anybody except himself. I mean, listen, a lot of people could fall into that category. It's just the way he's done things that have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And he, in my humble opinion, he did Ole Miss really bad because he was like not even like the people that made that put it all on the line for them. He, in my humble opinion, he totally stabbed them in the back, and that means he would do it in a heartbeat to the people that currently employ him.
I'm right there with you, little Joe. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, well.
Go
ahead.
We can beat Lane Kiffin to death, but there's so many other things going on in college football. Like they got to get a handle on the NIL. That stuff's crazy. They got to get a handle on that. They got to get a handle on transfers. How many times can you transfer and not graduate? I mean, some of these kids are 5 years players and they're not even getting a degree in liberal arts.
Right.
How many times, these kids like this kid is and going into his second year with the Saints. So what's his name? Tyler. So, or whatever his name is.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't think of the guy. I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, the guy, he's all right. But when he got drafted out of college, he was 25 and a half years old, almost coming up on 26 years old. When Joe Montana got out of school, he was 22. Tom Brady, 22.
Right.
The youngest ever was Sam Darnold. He was 20 years old when he got drafted. Right. And we got to get back to that, because how long can you let a jerk go to different schools and not graduate and have no loyalty to the school. All he's there, he's a gunslinger. He's there to pick up some money and leave.
Well, it honestly seems, and this is what me and Joe were just talking about, like the NCAA has no teeth. But I will say this: I do in no way, shape, or form want the government getting involved in college football.
You got that right. You got that right. That's one thing really pissed me off this year is whenever our governor Landry, stepped in and had LSU get rid of our old athletic director. What was his name?
Oh, I forget his name, but the LSU athletic director. I got you.
Yeah. I thought he'd done a great job. You know, he brought in Kim Mulkey. He brought in Jay Johnson. You know, so what? He brought in Brian Kelly. You're going to pick a bad apple every once in a while.
Well, not only that, you know, I don't know. I mean, it felt like everything Brian Kelly did was all because of Brian Kelly. You can't really blame the AD for that.
Exactly.
Now, you could blame the AD for that big, stupid buyout contract that he got. But, I mean, but, you know, you can't. And then, yeah, when that whole situation that went down with Governor Landry, to me, that was just embarrassing. And I'm not even a Tiger fan. That was just embarrassing for college football in the state in general.
Yeah. We have people who live here in the neighborhood. They're from South Carolina, and they're Clemson fans. And when all that went down, we were sitting around talking. And I said, do y'all have this kind of crap going on with the government over in South Carolina? And it's a couple. And they looked at each other, and they looked at me, and they said, we if it happens, we never heard of it. Man, it was front page news over here. You know. Right. It's just low down Louisiana politics.
Yeah, I know. Well, what I didn't like was the fact that he made it that big deal all about money, and then they go spend $40 million on an NIL roster and pay Lane $100 million to come there. Okay, so where'd you get the money for that? And so it's not about money. It's about like almost like you just injecting yourself because you want to be the king here. You know?
Right.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
And now the big thing is these kids that go pro, and they still have a year of eligibility left. They want to come back and finish out a year. And some schools are letting them do it. And LSU, now Kiffin, he's following suit. He said, yeah, he wants to bring back 3 of them, I think it is. And but you know, everybody's saying, whoa, you can't do that. Now wait a minute, somebody already set a precedence here, didn't they?
Right. Well, from what I understand, it was a rule that said originally that, okay, if you had a 5th year of eligibility left, if you came in during the 2022 season and you had 1 year of eligibility left, you could play, but you could not actively be on an NFL roster. Then somebody sued and said, oh, well, no, I can play because what if I get cut from the NFL? You get what I'm trying to say? So that's what opened the door for this. But now both the SEC and the Big Ten have stepped in and said, no, we're putting a stop to this on our own. And I just saw on Locked on LSU, I follow Locked on, keep your enemies closer, right? But I follow Locked on LSU on YouTube, and Moscona was talking about that today, and I gave it a few minutes, but how Lane Kiffin and Jeff Landry are going to fight this, and they're going to fight the SEC. Hold up. And this is what me and Joe talked about. Dude, the season starts next Saturday. Give it a rest. You already spent $40 million on the roster. That's it. Right. That's your team.
That's right. You know, it's just crazy. And then to throw another thing into the mix with going on with LSU, and it's not really LSU's fault. It's Jaden Daniels crap about the number 5, and that really pisses me off.
Well, yeah, they say no publicity is bad publicity, but you compound everything that's going on over the past year. No, that's bad publicity.
Yeah, and they talk about Billy Cannon and Joe Burrow and all this kind of stuff. Well, Billy Cannon graduated in '59 from LSU. Joe Burrow graduated from LSU in 19. But Jaden Daniels, he didn't graduate from LSU. He has a degree from Arizona State. and he got nothing other. He got nothing but money and some football time at LSU.
Right.
And he wants to. I don't know if it's him. Some people say it's his mama. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I as much as I love my mom, I ain't gonna let her sink my boat. Ain't
that the truth?
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Hey, well, look. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go. I'm ranting. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Look, we're coming up against the allotted time here, but I will say this. Let's get back to football. Look, I know we've talked about this before. Give me a honest assessment preseason Final Four. Who you got in the semifinals?
Okay, I have Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, and Notre Dame.
Okay, that's pretty solid. I could totally see that, except maybe Texas. I'll never give.
I know. Yeah, Texas. I had to throw. It was a toss-up between Texas and Georgia. I just had to throw an SEC team in there, so I just threw Texas.
No, an SEC team will be in there now. Whether they make it any further is another thing. But Notre Dame is going to cruise because really and truthfully, they and yes, they'll play Miami at the start of the season, but the rest of their schedule is an absolute joke.
Yeah. And look. When you get right down to the dollars, Ohio State, they spent $44 million on football. Notre Dame $40 million, Texas $48 million, Oregon $44 million. LSU spent $43 million so far on football, but they're not in the mix as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Well, we will see. I mean, LSU's schedule, in my humble opinion, is not favorable. You're staring at potentially 4 losses. I will say that. And listen, if they were to just only lose 10 games, I would call that a wildly successful season.
Yeah. And Joe, they better be careful that first game with Clemson. And the newspapers around here and the people talking, we've already won the damn game.
Well, I will say this. I had to go look this up. No ACC team has ever beat LSU in Tiger Stadium, but darn it, there's a first time for everything.
That's right.
All right. Well, look, go ahead. But one last thing before I let you go.
Go ahead.
Okay, who you think's gonna win it all as of today? Who you think's gonna win it all?
I got to go with Ohio State.
That's a good pick.
Yep.
That's a great pick.
That's what I got to do, Joe.
Well, look, we will be sending you the link on the YouTube on the show. Subscribe and like, and because we're going to try to be doing this every week. We will have everybody's record on the ticker at the bottom when we will be giving kind of like a recap of the week and then a kind of like a preview of the next week. So, all right, man, it was good to talk to you. You take care.
Little Joe.
And we
hadn't talked to you in a while, little Joe, but it's sure been great talking to you.
Well, we gonna have you on the show, maybe not every week, but definitely maybe every third week. So,
okay.
All right, man. Good to talk to you.
Take care.
All right, man. All right.
Bye-bye.
Later. All right. Big fan, big friend, lifelong friend of Uncle Joe. And I've pretty much known him my whole life, too. So, we're moving right along in our interviews. Who we got next? Okay, on the phone with me now to talk about this current situation that Lane Kiffin and LSU have created. Well, it's not. You can't really blame Lane Kiffin for it, but he is at the forefront of this. We have LSU's number one fan. He sleeps with that Les Miles signed football right next to his bed every night. On the show right now is Buddha. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. Anxious. We're just a week away.
Yeah, we are a week away. So, all right. Well, let's just get right into this. I mean, what's your take on really what's going on here? I mean, everybody knows the story, and I honestly just, this whole thing started off with injunctions and lawsuits brought by players and stuff like that. And, here we are right in the mix of everything. But, just give me your honest assessment of what's going on. Because, the season starts next Saturday. What are we doing here?
Yeah, really, no kidding. Actually, Joe, it started way back when the NIL came into play. They didn't have any idea how they were going to do it. And, this is just a subtitle or whatever you want to call it of what's happening, a repercussion of the NIL. It's all about the people that are making the money. And now all of a sudden, the money, the truth has really come out, in my opinion. But my whole take was the whole time, if it's not against the rules, then what is he doing wrong? At the time it wasn't against the rules, and then they said, "Oh no, we need to hurry up and do something here because this ain't right. This ain't what we thought about." So they come up and and make a one-day rule, and it's kind of like a backyard baseball game, man. You make the rules up as you go.
Yeah, I honestly, what we've talked about earlier with Joe, we had Gary S. on the show. I know you know who that is.
Yeah,
but this thing, we say the NCAA has no teeth. They're scared of lawsuits. They're scared of stuff. But it was actually what made this situation really worse was the fact that both the SEC and the Big Ten, granted the strongest conferences in college football, just said, "Hey, we not dealing with this." Yes, and that was the ruling. So now you got Governor Jeff Landry and back in Kiffin saying they're going to fight this thing the whole way. I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know. As far as Landry goes, I think he's just hustling votes, man.
Yeah.
He brought that fake tiger out there. He's trying to do whatever he can to please the people. But, getting back to the football part of it, everybody's doing it. Let's put it, Lane Kiffin has been in the spotlight since he became our coach. Everything, they did the SEC media. Everybody was waiting to see what Kiffin had to say. Every one of the coaches that stepped up to the mic said something about Kiffin, So, I told a friend of mine today, I don't really care what happens. I really don't care what happens as long as he scores touchdowns. That's what it's all going to be all about. If he scores touchdowns and we win a bunch of games, then, there's nobody going to really matter who did it. That's just like your pop says all the time, move the chains.
Right. Well,
score touchdowns.
It's definitely win at all cost, but hey, what is it eventually going to cost you? I know I've made a few comments, on social media. I'll just be frank with you. It seems like LSU's just trying to sell its soul for a national championship, but at the same time, so is everybody else,
Well, that's what I was about to ask. What if all the spotlight was on Venable?
Right.
I know where your loyalty lies. And, what if all the spotlight was on him,
Right.
You'd be the same way. Just win, baby.
That's it.
Al Davis had it right way back then.
Yeah, well, I wear my Raider hat proud every time I'm on the West Coast. I will say that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yeah, I just wanted to get your take because we are like right at the precipice of the season, and even if they get 4 or 5 guys that can come to the team right now, I don't know. Okay, one thing I wanted to ask you, do you know if these guys are already in Baton Rouge? Are they already practicing? Are they just waiting for the clearance or what?
I don't think they're practicing, but some of them I read, and again, you take social media for what it's worth. There's so many different, blogs and posts, from different people that say they're the real LSU, But some of them, 2 of them, a cornerback, and I can't remember the name, and I think the defensive lineman from Notre Dame, they're in town. I don't think they're practicing. They have to be enrolled in school. See, that's another thing I don't understand. So now, they're going to, do you even have to take classes? We remember Joe Burrow didn't take any classes. He took all his correspondence, Is that the way? Somebody's got to be enrolled, wouldn't you think? I'm just asking that question. Maybe the group can answer that. You know,
I have no idea how that is shaking out. That is a very good question. I honestly, I think, that's one of the sad parts about it, of this whole thing. It seems like everything academic wise and like as far as what every other student has to go through is like totally being swept under the rug.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't, I mean, are they? They're not, quite honestly, my brother, they're not representing the university anymore. It's an individual thing. They're representing themselves, and it's all going to come down to what they get out of it.
Right.
And I mean, we've already seen it in the MLB, they're with the free agents and all that, they're just worried about what they're going to get. There's no team loyalty at all.
No.
So, and getting back to SEC and the Big Ten, I only give the NCAA maybe 2-3 more years, and then they're just going to break away from it altogether.
Yeah.
In some sports,
football for sure. Maybe
Yeah.
not college. I don't know. It seems like both college football and college basketball could break away and do their own thing.
Yeah.
Especially, at least the D1 programs, especially the big majors. Now you're going to have teams like Toledo and, maybe Oregon State that won't be invited to the party, which kind of sucks because, at one time, Oregon State was a formidable, but who knows? They might take all 132 teams with them. Who knows,
No kidding. And then, somebody's got to set down some rules. I'm not sure how that works,
Well, the last thing I want is the government being involved in college football.
Amen.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna do us no good.
We had talked to Gary S earlier, and he said the same thing. He said, you don't want government nowhere near college football, and I don't blame him. So anyway, so also too, not to change subjects, but on the same subject, I mean, listen, LSU's just I don't know if you would call this bad publicity, but the whole Jaden Daniels thing, it really, I'm of the fact that, I'm of the mindset is like, hey, good for LSU. Hey, man, we didn't tell you we were going to retire your jersey,
Yeah.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, what I think about it is what I'm just, I'm not dodging the question. I'm just saying, I can almost say who, because that's what he wants me to do. He wants me to forget that he ever existed. I never knew about the guy until he put on an LSU jersey. So if he doesn't want to associate with LSU, then I don't know nothing about the guy.
Okay, well, that's a fair take. Don't get me wrong. I mean, hey, listen, he won a great individual award, had a great season, but I don't remember no SEC championship in there. I don't remember them going to the playoffs the years he was there. So. Yeah.
I mean, it was quite enjoyable to watch, but, he didn't do it by himself, although he did have some fantastic highlights, but,
right.
And then I'm thinking about, okay, what if LSU one day decides to put a Heisman ring up there? We got 3 Heismans right now.
Right.
What if they decide to put some kind of honor for the Heisman, maybe somebody else, hey, fingers crossed, maybe Sam Levitt will win one.
Right. Right.
But, what if they decide to do that they can't put him up there?
Right.
Are they going to put an asterisk or something?
Yeah. Yeah. It just,
it's somebody that didn't really do all the thinking that they needed to do.
Well, did somebody, I don't know, was it Brian Kelly that said, oh, we'll never give anybody the number 5. Well, he's not there anymore. Somebody somewhere promised him something, because it seems like he was under the impression that they weren't going to ever use the number 5 again. Now, maybe he just made all that up. I don't know, dude. Like, I spent a lot of time outside of Baton Rouge, and that's why we have you on. That's why we have you on the show. I mean, did somebody just get their wires crossed or what?
Well, I'm sure it's open for interpretation. Who said I said, who said, but we don't know what really goes on behind closed doors. So. whatever. I mean, it was just a bad to be disassociated completely. You know, I can understand. To some degree, but then to make it sound like I never even played there, so I forgot him. I don't. I
Yeah.
make a joke about it, and people say, "Well." People try to explain to me what's going on. I said, I understand what's going on, but I'm just honoring his request.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But, the season is coming up. I'm pretty sure you probably already got your picks in.
Yes, I did.
There is week 0. There is football on TV. Finally, thank God we don't have to wait anymore.
Tonight, isn't it?
No, I believe. Well, they might have.
North Carolina game's not tonight.
I believe it's Friday. Somebody plays Friday night. I think.
Okay.
But it ain't nobody special. I think it's Cal Poly in like Idaho or something like that. But
Okay.
but also too, and then they got the North Carolina TCU game. I want to say it's like at 11 or something on a Saturday. It's an early game because of course it's in Ireland.
Okay.
But I will say this: any. Let me get your score prediction because we might not have you on the show for the next week for the Clemson LSU game because I know you're going to be very busy. So maybe give us a score prediction. We know. I'm taking LSU to absolutely throttle Clemson. I don't. I mean, you spend 40-something million on a roster, you better throttle Clemson. So let me just get your score prediction, and I also want to know, did you take the spread? Did you take the spread on the TCU North Carolina?
No, I did not. I went straight play.
Okay.
I did not take it. I'll see how it goes.
Okay.
My prediction is an Ole Miss average 36 points a game with a roster that included some pretty talented players. And I believe that we have some talent, pretty good talent. So I'm going to say 35-10 LSU.
Yeah. Okay. I could see that. I don't know. You think Clemson's going to score that many points?
Well, I think they'll score a touchdown to go on the mop up.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, I haven't looked at the line, but it's probably got to be 3 scores. Like we've talked about this at the breakfast. No ACC team has ever beat LSU in Tiger Stadium. I don't care who you are,
Yeah.
So, well, all right, man. That's you got anything else before the season starts? Any last words? Any last predictions? No.
Well, if I'm going to live up to my billing, I'll just say go Tigers.
That's it. All right, man. Well, thank you for your time, and we will see you soon.
All right, my brother.
All right, man.
Good.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right, and that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us. Only certain people are going to get the link if you're in the crew, if you're in the pool. Yes. We will see you hopefully next week. If not, definitely the next Monday or the next Tuesday after the big September weekend, kickoff weekend, the real week 1. All right, this is Little Joe out.